A top priority to make sure that we increase the value of Letterkenny to the United States military. But more importantly, what we're doing here today is providing a center that's going to help to improve the training, the quality of our U.S. military, specifically to our reservists. And that is so important, as the General mentioned, what's going on in the world today. We've got to make sure that we're providing our military folks with the best training, the best equipment that's possible. And Letterkenny's doing both of that, whether it's here at the Reservist Center providing training or what's happening over at some of the other facilities dealing with the Humvees and the equipment and the missile systems that we put out and deploy around the world. It is so important. And we are blessed to have people willing to serve in harm's way around the world. We're very fortunate to have quality people doing that in very different places and very dangerous places. And unfortunately, they have to be deployed around the world because it is dangerous with the Islamic fundamentalists that are out there that wish to end our society as we know it, as our civilization as we know it. I just recently came back from Afghanistan and got to see firsthand what's happening there. And although the violence is increasing in Afghanistan, I think that we've got a plan in place that's going to help to depress the violence and change that country. But it's going to take time. It's a much more difficult problem than Iraq. It's a longer-term problem than Iraq. I believe this, and I think most of the folks in the military and people that serve around the world in diplomatic missions have felt the same way, that it's a much more difficult situation in Afghanistan than Iraq because they have so little to build upon, whether it's low literacy, no natural resources, no experience with a centralized government. So we're in for a long war. We're in for a long fight, I believe, in Afghanistan. And we as Americans need to persevere. And by training our military folks, by making sure we give them the support that they need, I feel confident that we'll be able to do that. And this Reserve Center is just one of those elements. And I don't want to go through the details because the General did such a great job of what's happening here. 300 reservists will train here. I understand there'll be some employment here of about 30 people. Consolidating sites, which is going to be financially better for us, be able to save hundreds of millions of dollars over a period of time, being able to better utilize this facility versus the three that we're going to leave behind. And this is important in these economic times. I would like to point out, though, especially for those that are here in the media, as I like to point out, this is an earmark. And so many times you read in the national newspapers and the national media how bad earmarks are. Well, earmarks aren't bad. Earmarks are good if they're put to the right purposes. And the vast majority of the earmarks that are in this country are positive. And this Reserve Center is one of those. $14.9 million. I'm not quite sure it would ever get built if you didn't have a representative, you didn't have senators in Washington requesting that money be directed back here to Franklin County. So as one who's a supporter of earmarks, I'm proud to say this is an earmark, and we're going to see a fantastic facility being raised here, and it's going to do a great job in serving this nation and serving those men and women who so ably serve the United States of America. And finally, I just want to say to Colonel Shapiro, I keep coming back here, and you haven't left yet. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not criticizing, but I keep coming back to Letterkenny, and Colonel Shapiro's here. So once again, I know this is the twilight of your deployment here at Letterkenny. So we wish you the best, and once again, with your able leadership, there's been a lot of positive things that have happened here at Letterkenny, and we thank you for that, and thank you for your service to our nation. We know Letterkenny's not going to be far from your heart or your mind, or from me to be able to communicate to you down at AMC, where you'll be serving the country next. So thank you for that service. And just finally, thank you to all of you that are here today, this community. Nothing good happens in a community unless we work together, whether it's for our military, whether it's for economic development, whether it's for improving our schools and our communities, working together, the private sector, the public sector, all levels of government, federal, state, and local. That's what makes communities great. That's what makes America great. So, again, thank you all for your service, and thanks for coming out today.